Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pod-ket Monsters, our weekly Pokemon podcast. I'm Jeff Grizzolrich, and with me is the Pikachu to my Eevee, Dustin Cunningham. How are you doing today, Dustin?
I am doing great, Jeff. Happy Pokemon Day after? I don't know. Happy Pokemon Day weekend, everybody.
Excellent. Yes. So as you've just heard, it was Pokemon Day yesterday, and so as you heard in our last episode, and maybe in our live reacts, to the Pokemon Presents that was earlier this week, we've got a lot to talk about in terms of those announcements. We're going to build off what we said in our reacts now that we've had some more time to think about stuff, to formulate some questions that we want answers to, things like that. But as always, we're going to start off with the news. Pokemon Journeys comes back on March 5th on Netflix, so that's next Friday. 12 more episodes is what we're getting right now, and so you can binge all that and then be angry that we have to wait again for the rest of this season of Pokemon.
I was gonna say, do we know there's more after that, right? This isn't the final 12?
Yeah, there's more after that.
Okay.
There's more than 12 episodes left in this season.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that we haven't gotten confirmation of when the rest of the season's going to come out, part 5.
Yeah.
But they did say in their news on Pokemon.com that the journey continues with these episodes, and it didn't say the journey concludes, which means that there's definitely still going to be more episodes, even though they have not announced it yet.
And I think the only other piece of news that came out recently would have been the fact that they are going to have the legendaries in this next batch of episodes. I can never pronounce their names.
Zamazenta and Zacian. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do want to shout out Hugo in the chat, referred to it as Pokemon Boxing Day because it's the day after Pokemon Day, which is absolutely brilliant.
Oh.
Yeah, so the next bit of news, the Global Challenge Winter Online competition is going on now through February 28th at 3:59 Pacific Standard Time. This is on Sword and Shield. It's just the online battling. If you even participate at all, like just do one match, you will receive a gift of 50 battle points for your use in Sword and Shield, which is great. But it's really, for the people who are more into the competitive stuff.
I was going to say, get out there and get them people that actually care about the competitive side of things, because that's not me. I love the idea of it, but I've never really gotten.
I think the reason I don't get super into the competitive stuff is that I'm a sore loser. So,
yeah, me too.
Especially like with things that I think I'm good at. If it turns out I'm not good at it, it'll totally destroy my worldview,
Yep.
Yeah, what? I'm not a Pokemon master?
Yeah.
But I have so many shinies. All right. Well, so the last bit of news before the actual news is that Pokemon Masters is celebrating their 1.5 year anniversary, which to me seems like a bit of a stretch to call it an anniversary.
That's like when you're dating somebody and you celebrate every single, month. The first year you're celebrating
their 6-month anniversary. Oh, come on. Yeah, I have friends who do that, and more power to them if it makes them happy. I, for one, think it's silly.
I mean, I will not confirm nor deny if I did that in my relationship.
You 100% did. Don't deny it.
That was also almost 10 years ago at this point. So.
But in any case, they're celebrating their 1.5 year anniversary on Pokemon Masters by bringing in the new pairs of Leon and Charizard and Marnie and Morpeko. So you can get those pairs in game. Leon and Charizard, I believe, is what they call a master pair, which is a big deal. So
yeah,
go get it.
I downloaded that game with the intention of playing it, and I think I started it. But
yeah, I played like an hour, probably.
Yeah, I didn't play much more of it.
It was really for me. It was neither substantial enough to make me want to keep pursuing it, but it also wasn't like it wasn't so bad that I, regret having played it at all. Like, it wasn't that it wasn't fun. It's just that there's definitely more fun things I could be doing, even in just the Pokemon games, let alone all games.
Yeah, exactly. And even with the Pokemon games, I've been trying to I started this a while ago. I think I technically would say back when like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, but I decided that I was going to replay through one version of like every generation, even if it wasn't like an original release during that generation. So, for example, instead of playing Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald, I played through Alpha Sapphire, but I'm on Platinum now. And so, like, when I play games like that, I'm like, I could just be continuing my replay through of the Pokemon series instead of doing this.
So if you're watching along with us on Twitch or watching the video on YouTube, what we have playing alongside our images is the video that we watched from the Pokemon Presents, and we're also going to show you the video of Post Malone's Pokemon Day virtual concert.
We will not be playing the music.
We'll be playing the music.
Yeah.
We're not even playing the audio from the Presents because we're going to be talking over it the whole time. But right now they have on the screen, we have the stuff from the new Pokemon Snap game, which is what we're going to dive into here with our main topic. I'm sorry, that's not where we're starting with our main topic. We're starting with talking about where we were wrong with our predictions.
Yeah. Yep. Boy, were we ever wrong.
First, I want to say thank you to everyone who did watch our live reacts. It was really fun having everybody in the chat with us, and it's one of the reasons I love streaming on Twitch here with this show, because it is fun to interact with people, even if it's just sending messages in the chat with people.
I would also like to apologize for how tired I was during that live reacts, because I feel like I seemed way less excited for things than I actually was.
Well, and it's funny, like, Dustin is normally the very animated, super, hype guy.
Well, when I have to wake up at 5:45 to do that, I'm not that animated for that.
For me, I have like a level of general happiness that I am usually at, which is, kind of, jovial, lighthearted, that sort of thing. But I rarely get like, oh, wow, this is a big moment. Like, I don't, that's not me.
I feel like on a normal day, if we weren't reacting to that at 7 a.m, that would have been me for the Pokemon Legends announcement.
For sure. So, right. So the Pokemon Presents was on the 26th. The presentation consisted of a montage, which we saw here at the beginning. I'll even jump back to it on the video here real quick so you guys can know what I'm talking about. Just a montage of everything that happened in Pokemon history, every bit of media that they've ever produced, all the games, every accessory, the cards, all throughout history. And they have this great montage, throughout the whole thing.
I absolutely adored that. I thought that was perfect. It made me feel so happy seeing them do that.
And it was really cool. And like, there were even things on here that like I don't even remember.
Yeah, same.
Like, what is this swing motion thing they're showing right now? What is? When was that a thing?
I don't know. I do remember like, I don't remember that at all. I remember the thing that you could attach to your Game Boy Advance to like slide the cards in, like the e-reader card things, but I don't remember the wand thing.
So I gotta pull up my notes again. The after this montage, they go into the actual information for the Pokemon Presents, which they started with a segment on new Pokemon Snap, and then they announced 2 new Pokemon games, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are both releasing sometime before the end of 2021, and then Pokemon Legends, Arceus, or Arceus. I forget. I've already forgotten how they said it in the show. Arceus?
So they said the translator said Arceus in the Pokemon Presents, but even like I watched Detective Pikachu last night, and even in that he says "Sweet Mother of Arceus," and I've only ever heard it pronounced Arceus before this Pokemon Presents.
Okay, so. I thought so too. So
yeah,
I'm going back to Arceus until I get confirmation otherwise. So those were all the games that they announced as part of the presentation. So, as we mentioned before, we made predictions with our buddy Mike Towndrow from 6-1 Indie.
Shout out 6-1 Indie.
We have a hypothetical pizza bet on it. It remains to be seen whether or not we will ever actually pay out on any sort of pizza bet here.
Can we just change this to throughout the whole year? Because I feel like maybe some of these announcements will get made this year.
I suppose it's possible but the predictions were for the week of Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
And so the first prediction I made was I'm the one counting the points. Feel free to tell me if you disagree on these points here. I said that they would announce Diamond and Pearl remakes, but it wouldn't be released until 2022, and that it would be in the style of Sword and Shield. I gave
Oh boy.
myself a third of a point because they did announce Diamond and Pearl remakes. What do you think?
I think that's fair. I mean, like the thing that's hard about this is all three of us knew that they were going to announce Diamond
Yes,
and Pearl remake.
but I guessed Rotom's weight more accurately, so I got the point.
Yeah. I'll allow the fraction of a point for you on that one because yes, they did announce them.
Okay.
Yeah, and my predictions, which I don't think it didn't make it into the actual predictions, it was just one of the ones I threw it at the end, was that I believe I said that we would get, I can't remember if I said we would get the Diamond and Pearl in November or if I thought we would get what was the Let's Go games next year, I think is what I said. I think that was like how I had it, but I still think it's going to be November. They just said, holiday 2021 or whatever. Winter, whatever they said, fall. It'll probably be November. That's typically when they come out.
So Dustin's first prediction was that we would get a Detective Pikachu 2 game trailer.
I'm still shocked we didn't, if I'm being honest.
Yes. The fact matter is we really didn't get that much information from this Pokemon Presents. I was expecting much more than we got.
Yeah. Me too. I really thought it was going to be more like a direct type thing.
Especially at the time we were doing these predictions, they had said, look forward to announcements in the week leading up to Pokemon Day.
And it was never like anything that was substantial. Like, I mean, I guess technically they weren't wrong, but it was just like small announcements, like the announcements of Zacian and Zamazenta being in the anime, Leon and Charizard being in Pokemon Masters. Like, it was just small things like that. So technically there were things, but they hyped it up. And especially doing the like leading up to like when it was 8 days and counting, they had
a countdown every day.
Yeah, they had a countdown every day with the different generations. And I thought it was hilarious when they said Let's Go Sinnoh, and everybody's like, wait, is it going to be a Let's Go game for the Sinnoh remakes? I thought that was really funny.
But they did not really give us any substantial announcements.
No.
So we did not get a Detective Pikachu 2 game trailer, so unfortunately Dustin was wrong about that.
Yep.
Mike's first prediction was that there would only be one version of Diamond and Pearl. I want to give him a third of a point for saying that it would release in November. They did not say it will release in November, but they said it would be in that time period. So I don't know. What do you think? Is that a third of a point?
I'm trying to think of if a Pokemon game has ever come out not in November. And I think
we had Black and White 2 came out in October, didn't it?
And I think X and Y might have came out in September, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know because they technically didn't say. So it's hard to say that he would get a point for that one because they didn't actually say it'll be November. But I also agree with you that I think it'll be November. So it's kind of hard to.
So I don't know. Decision, I was inclined to give him a third of a point for that.
I mean, we can do that if you want. Again, they didn't actually say November, so it's hard to.
Okay. I mean, I was on the fence about it, so
yeah.
Tentatively, right, Mike has a third of a point. So my next prediction was that we would get the Let's Go Johto announcements with 2 games that would be coming out this year. That was completely wrong. Another thing we were disappointed by this week that we did not get the Johto remakes we were expecting.
Yeah, even though we've had Johto remakes in the past, 2010 I think was when
Heart Gold Soul Silver, yeah.
I think that's so right. In the last, I guess it's 11 years now. It still would have been cool to see the remakes again with a modern take. But I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were so good that people should just honestly just go back and play those if they want to. If they have never played those games or if they've been looking to replay them ever since Gold and Silver, those are great games to still play.
It's just harder to go back and play those games now. I mean, I guess,
everybody. I feel like everybody and their mother has a 3DS at this
You
point.
think they still have them? I feel like a lot of people trade in their consoles when the next one comes out, and when the
I
Switch came
technically have
out,
two. I have two 3DSs.
when the Switch came out, a lot of people I think probably traded in their 3DSs because this is my
Yeah,
new handheld, right?
that's fair. It's hard though because they were still releasing games for 3DS for the next few
True.
years. Like Pokemon Sun and Moon were only out for what 4 months before the Switch came out.
Yeah, I mean
So
you're
there's
right.
those. I think I'm trying to think of what else they released though that would have been substantial releases for 3DS. But yeah,
And that's another good point that Jackson brings up in the chat. They lost the chargers for for the 3DSs. Dustin, you still talking, buddy? Because you're not making any sound.
give me 1
Oh, now
second.
you're back. You're back. What did you do?
Discord crashed. I am back.
Oh, okay.
That was super awkward. Yeah, I was just sitting there talking, and all of a sudden my camera went off, and the Discord crashed. But we back.
We back. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the 3DSs. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. People probably got rid of them, and it would be cool if they remade them. At least just port Heart Gold and Soul Silver would be awesome. That would have been a really cool announcement too.
Hang on. Something happened to our stream here. The video
yeah.
stopped playing. Why did the video stop playing?
Not sure.
It appears to be back.
There we go. We're doing it live, everybody. This is what you get when when we do it live.
So yeah, I was saying Jackson brought up that people lost the chargers for their 3DSs and stuff like that, and like when they released the new 3DSs, they didn't even come with chargers.
Yeah.
So
What was the reasoning behind that? It was something weird. Like they assumed everybody just had one already.
Yes, and well, that's the reason they gave. I think it's just that they wanted to save $20 on the console itself.
Yeah, I think
by
so
not
too.
Including it, and then if you do need it, you can buy it separately. So then they can charge you the $20 there. I don't know, whatever on that, but
yeah, no Let's Go Johto games.
No Let's Go Johto.
I don't think that means that they're not going to happen. However, I do think that because we are getting the Pokemon Legends game, which looks like it's a lot more work for Game Freak than they're used to, that maybe if we do get the Let's Go games, it'll either be later on, like possibly even like 2023, or it would be another studio working on it, like the remakes of the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which I realized in our reaction we didn't really talk about that, but it's not Game Freak making them; it's a completely different studio doing it.
Yeah, so that's why we're continuing to talk about this stuff today, is because we have more information that we have learned since we did the live reactions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wrong about Johto remakes. The next one that Dustin was wrong about
was a bummer to me.
Was that they did not announce the next live action movie.
This one was a bummer to me because even in that the sizzle reel at the beginning, they even showed the live action movie, and I was happy with the announcements that we got. I think I was just a little disappointed that it was only the games. I wish they would have at least set the expectation when it's like, hey, this Pokemon Presents is only about the games or something like that, that would have been kind of nice to at least have that. Because obviously, I don't want to be like a toxic Pokemon fan or anything like that, but Pokemon fans are like ravenous for information, and if the expectations would have been set at just like, hey, this is just games, then I would have been like, oh, cool.
I think that's a running theme with Pokemon Company and with Nintendo for that matter, is that they don't ever set the expectations where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's always
they want people to get hyped.
They want you to be hyped, but like there's a way to do that.
I'd still be hyped even if they're like, "Hey, this is just about game announcements." I'm like, "Oh, sweet, okay."
Yeah, I would be cool with that. It's not like I was super disappointed by the Pokemon Presents. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, but especially given that they had said there was going to be so many more announcements. I was expecting, the 25th anniversary. We're going to go all out. Here's all these things that you should be excited about, and we got some things to be excited about. Mike's
I
next.
think even. Oh, I was just gonna say. I think even when the, if I'm not mistaken, at the 20th, like the Pokemon 20-year anniversary, was when they announced that they were putting Red, Blue, and Yellow on 3DS.
Yeah,
like even something like that would have been cool for Switch. Like, hey, we're also gonna port this game, whatever this game, X game to the Switch, something like that.
So
sorry, you can go into Mike's.
Yeah, Mike's next thing that he was wrong about was that there is no Pokemon Origins collection announced.
Which, there we go. That's essentially what I was
Perfect
saying
segue.
there.
That's what you're saying. They did that for a few years ago for the 3DS. We thought they might do that for the 25th anniversary just to get more of the games all on one console. That did not happen. That's not to say that it's not. That's not to say that it's something that will never happen. It's just,
and that's what I was going to say, is just to be
yet.
completely clear too with people, is that we were just expecting these things because they set it up as this Pokemon week leading into Pokemon Day. But it's still the 25th anniversary year. They could do things throughout the entire year. COVID could have affected them announcing things. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes? But there's still a chance we could get some sort of Origins collection announced for Switch or something like that, where it's like, for $40 you can get red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal all in one package or something like that, which would be a deal because they were $10 each when they came out anyways for 3DS.
Okay, well, so yeah, the next thing that I was wrong about was that I thought they would announce the next animated movie. So, big disappointments all around. No movies. Yeah. No movies discussed whatsoever.
No movies at all. Nothing but games. I would have even liked them to just say something about the movie coming to streaming services. The
Secrets of the Jungle.
What's it called now? Secrets of the Jungle. I keep wanting to just call it Coco because that's what it was called.
That's what it was. I don't know. Yeah. So then the next thing you were wrong about, they made no announcements about the TCG.
Yeah, that was also a bummer. I still don't think that that's something that won't get announced again this year, because they make announcements about the trading card game randomly at any time anyways when there's a new set coming out, and there's a new set coming out soon anyways.
And I think just for the I suppose Jackson makes a good point. Coco copyright, so that's possibly why they did not call it Coco.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Very good point from the chat. Thank you, Jackson. I'm just going to kind of burn through the things we're wrong about a little more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Mike, next thing he was wrong about was they have no photo upload through My Nintendo for Pokemon Snap. You can upload your photos to Twitter just like normal, but nothing.
And you can edit your photos and stuff like that too.
Yeah, but there is no promotion like where they will print it out and send it to you, or go to a place and print it out. Nothing like that. I was wrong. Oh no, here we go. This is one where I think I deserve a third of a point here. I had said that they were going to make another Pokemon RPG game that would be announced. That was not one of the main games, but it's not like Ranger. And I said it was not. I said it was going to release in 2021, but obviously it's not. So I would think I deserve a third of a point because they are in fact making another Pokemon RPG in Pokemon Legends Arceus.
I would honestly say that you could just have a full point for that one, because that, like, who knows? Again, with COVID, that could have been a 2021 release originally, or something like that. If it's coming out early 2022, I think that's within the range, honestly, of close enough.
In my original prediction, I said coming out summer 2021. So,
okay.
So if you want to give me a half a point, I'll take a half a point.
Yeah, take a half a point. That's fine. Take a half a point on that one, because that was a pretty good guess, and I wasn't expecting them to announce what they announced. We'll talk about that when we get to the news, or the announcement.
Dustin, there was no announcement about another Pokemon concert, totally, but they did announce that there would announce one new artist, and they did say that there would be more concerts in the future. Yeah, so I want to give you a third of a point on that prediction.
I really thought that there was going to be more artists at this concert, but
I thought so too. And I thought
it was. I did not know that it was
Posty.
Post Malone doing 4 songs and only one of them being from the Pokemon album. So
yeah,
I'll take that point. A little bit of a point.
Yeah, you get. I think a third of a point is warranted there. Mike, unfortunately, this is a good question from Jackson in the chat. Who would you like to play at Pokemon concert next? They did say that we can expect music from Katy Perry, and who was the other guy they announced?
J Balvin?
I don't know who that is. I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not super knowledgeable about all genres of music, but
my assumption is that it will probably be the J Balvin. Is that I don't know, Jackson, you're young and hip. Tell me if that's correct or not. But I don't think it would be Katy Perry right away. I think that they're going to hold on to that.
You think she's the headliner?
Yeah, I assume so. It'd be cool if it was somebody we didn't know about yet, because even Post Malone was like the week before, right? Or like 2 weeks
Yeah,
before.
2 weeks before we found out about him doing the concert. But honestly, they did Post Malone, so the world is wide open. They could do it with anybody.
Yeah.
Never in my wildest dreams would I have pictured that on Pokemon Day they would have a concert featuring a musician with numerous face tattoos.
Yeah, an animated version. Yeah. J Balvin is big in Latin countries.
Okay.
Which I want to say that Pokemon's also pretty huge in Latin countries as well too.
Pokemon's worldwide.
Yeah. Just like Pitbull. Sorry.
Just like Pitbull. Pitbull would be good. I could see a Pitbull Pokemon song. So Mike was wrong about Puzzle League or Pinball. There was no Puzzle League or Pinball game. Disappointing.
Yeah.
And then my last prediction that I was wrong about was that they did not announce a second season of Pokemon Journeys. In fact, they did not even announce when we will get all of the rest of the first season of Pokemon Journeys.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why in my head canon I just assumed that they were going to do like a big stream, like live stream.
It's because we're big fans, and so we have lofty expectations.
We should just run the Pokemon Company is what it sounds like.
If we ran the Pokemon Company, they would probably be bankrupt very shortly thereafter because we put so much money into things that would not necessarily pan out for everybody.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like we would throw a lot of money into Detective Pikachu 2 video game and sell like, a couple thousand copies.
Probably.
Let's see. Dustin, you were wrong with your last prediction of Detective Pikachu 2, the movie. No announcement.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you should get any points. You said because you had said that you didn't think they'd have a trailer or anything, and they didn't have a trailer or anything. So I don't know if that counts as you being right, but they didn't talk about it at all. So
yeah, they didn't even acknowledge that it exists. So I will take nothing.
Okay,
I will be happy.
I appreciate your honesty with that. I threw it out there as a possibility.
No, I didn't. It was more. That was like one of my like Hail Mary predictions that I assumed wasn't actually going to be a thing. I was just really hopeful because if I would have got that right, I would have lost my mind.
And then the last prediction that Mike had was that there would be an additional dumb mobile game announced that we wouldn't hear about forever. And there was not even a dumb mobile game announced.
I think what we should really talk about is Mike's real prediction that Post Malone would be put into a game.
Yes, well, there is still time for that. Very possible at some point down the line that Posty will show up somewhere. Let's not rule it out just yet. Okay, so now let's talk about what we actually want to talk about. And apparently we've missed the whole video. I'll start it over. I'll even just jump to where we want to be.
Yeah, that's fine.
Here we go. Pokemon Snap.
That picture of Mario with no hair was horrific. Sorry.
Okay, so let's talk about new Pokemon Snap. What did we think of what we saw there, Dustin?
I mean, I didn't really feel like there was anything new. It was just another trailer. I think they touched a little bit on the fact that it's not just like, because in that first trailer, it showed us like the glowing Meganium.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that? And looks like it's a thing that can be on any Pokemon. That's kind of cool. I don't really need to see more for this game, honestly.
Well, I think that's kind of why they went the direction they did.
Yeah.
Is that like they know that like this game is going to sell to people who want to play Pokemon Snap because they remember Pokemon Snap.
This game is going to sell to exactly what you just said. The people that are fans of the original, the people that play Pokemon Go and think, oh, cool, I can take pictures of Pokemon on my Switch that I have because there's a lot of Switches out there. Or the people that, like, the only other Pokemon game they played would have been Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, and are like, oh, this looks like an easy, like...
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be popular with kids, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they didn't really show anything that makes me think like they've added a lot of new stuff.
Yeah,
And they have the glowing Pokemon, and it's in a new region, which makes me wonder if we will see some sort of new Pokemon that is being kept a secret right now. Because that's one of the facets of Pokemon is the different regions frequently have different Pokemon. So if this is a new region, maybe we do get some sort of new Pokemon, or maybe a regional variant for the Lental region, or something like that. But maybe that's
I'm
me, hoping for too much.
I'm gonna do a little bit of research here because I don't know if the original Pokemon Snap was in a different region or not because that one didn't have any new Pokemon.
For some reason, I have it in my head that it was in like the Orange Islands or something.
Let's see. I don't know. March 21st, 1999. Let's see. I was just gonna. No, you're literally just on. In Pokemon Snap, the famous Pokemon researcher Professor Oak is studying Pokemon on Pokemon Island. That's just literally the name of it. So
Wow, they
it's a
really
new
they really
thing.
tried hard to come up with a name on that one.
Yeah, real lot of work went into that one.
That's
So you
that's like
right?
Time Magazine posting an article with a bunch of photos from Earth Island.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we'll see new Pokemon in it. It doesn't really feel like the type of game that we get new Pokemon in, but
I don't
who
mean like a
knows?
bunch of new Pokemon, but I mean
Yeah,
like
but like
like
a
Pokemon
new
Go
legendary
had
or something.
Meltan, Melmetal.
Wasn't Meltan technically in Let's Go first?
No,
It,
the way you
it
got
was in
it in
Pokemon
Let's
Go?
Go was by getting it in Pokemon Go.
That's right. I honestly always forget about that Pokemon.
Yeah, he's not great.
Yeah. I think I got one and then it was like, you need 400 candies to evolve this. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to not
Yeah,
bother
and I
with it.
thought that was going to be really hard, and so I put it off for a while. But then, you recharge the item in Pokemon Go every time you transfer a Pokemon to
Yeah.
Let's Go. So all I had to do was transfer a Pokemon, recharge the item that caused Meltan to spawn, and then if you used Pineapple berries, each individual time you did it, you'd get at
Yeah.
least 50 candies. So it didn't really take that long.
Okay. Maybe I'll do it eventually, but
But
I could see them maybe doing one new legendary or something like that. And the original Pokemon Snap at the end, like the secret area was Mew at the end. Like you find Mew and you can take pictures of. So I wonder if they would do that with a new legendary to announce a new legendary.
yeah, so that's the only thing I could think of. So you might get some new Pokemon, but highly unlikely in the grand scheme of things. And then there just doesn't seem like there's any new features with new Pokemon
Yeah.
Snap. You're still on rails. You're still taking photos. You still throw apples. And that's it. That's it, right?
It literally just looks like what the name says, the new Pokemon Snap.
Which is I'm okay with to the extent that I will enjoy that.
Yeah.
I this does feel like more of the same from the Pokemon Company in general, where they continue to make new games with very little actual improvement.
Yeah, I think that they know their audience is people like us. I would say their target audience for this is people in their late 20s and early 30s that played Pokemon Snap as kids and loved it and always wanted a sequel. And they're like, let's finally give people a sequel. And that's like, obviously, that's all they need because we're literally going to pay $60 to play this game. That's probably anybody else would probably, if it was an indie game or something like that, it'd probably be $30, 20 or $30.
So, is there any information that you felt like they really should have shown us when they were talking about Pokemon Snap?
I think you mentioned this in our reacts about the length of the game would have been nice to see.
Yeah.
I agree. If they would have just touched on that a little bit, or even if they put out a press release later that said, hey, this game's probably going to take about 5 to 6 hours to beat, but we want you to replay through it and get better quality photos or whatever. Because, like I said, $60 is steep for a game like this that I'm predicting will be 5 or 6 hours long.
Yeah, and I'm optimistic in saying that I think it'll be 10 hours long. And, if history has shown me anything, my optimism is rarely rewarded. So, very possible we have a short game here.
Again, I'm going to pay for it. I'm really excited to play through the game, but I think I would like just a little bit more information on it.
A
little bit more information on the game itself.
Yeah, it looks good. Like, I mean, the animations do look really good. The Pokemon, it's probably the best looking Pokemon game yet in terms of like actual graphical, prowess. But It's still, just regular Pokemon Snap gameplay, and I will have fun with it, but I was hoping for something more at this point.
Again, they're banking on our nostalgia.
Yep.
That's basically what it is. They know that we'll buy it.
Okay, well, so let's move on to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah, I I I was a little harsh. I think we both had very similar reactions to the art style
Yes.
when these were announced. It's grown on me a little bit more, but I still don't love it. Um, I'm still gonna play it. I said that originally that I would still play it regardless. I do wish they went a little bit more towards the Sword and Shield art style, kind of similar to how Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did look like X and Y when they released because they came out a year after. But it is, however, the different studio making it. It's not Game Freak, and it looks like they're trying to stick more closely to the original
Which studio is
game.
it?
It was Ilka, I think is what it's called. It says in the video.
Okay. Do we know of any other games that they've made?
No, I'm gonna look up the name or the game itself and then try to get the studio that's making it. Let's see. I think it was Ilka, like ILCA or something like that. I don't know.
So,
And
while you're looking that up, in general,
Yeah.
my goal with any time I talk about movies or video games or anything is to try to be mostly positive when I can. That doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about criticisms when I have them, but I want to also find positives wherever I can. So let's see, what are the positives of what we've seen with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl?
I think the positives are that they are remaking these games and that people really wanted them. I'm excited to replay through the fourth generation with some. Like even the battles, they do look better. Like the animations look better than
For
the
sure.
sprite-based, like chibi looking characters.
Well, and
I
I'm
go ahead.
excited. I was going to say I am excited to replay it because I haven't replayed any of them since I played it the first time when I first played Pearl. I have not played it since, so it'll be good to get back into it. I think it'll be an opportunity to see some Pokemon that we haven't seen in a while. Although with Pokemon Go and with Pokemon Home, most of them I still have them from
Yeah,
the ones I caught originally, right? But so I don't know. I think the more I've looked at it, the art style doesn't bother me quite as much as it did at first. I'm not happy about it, but I don't think it's terrible. I just think it was a weird choice, and I'm gonna have to live with that.
yep. Ilka actually are the people who made Pokemon Home. Speaking of Pokemon Home,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let's see. They have. Looks like they've like worked or helped in a bunch of different series: Yakuza 0, Dragon Quest 11, Nier Automata, Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, and Ace Combat 7: Unknown Skies
Okay,
or Skies
so
Unknown.
the reason
Some
I
games
was
that they
wondering was I was wondering
worked
if
on.
this is sort of an artistic style that they are used to working in, but if they've worked on those other games, they have a lot of really different kinds of games.
Yeah,
Yakuza 0, Ace Combat, completely different games. So,
yeah. It seems like so. There's a little quote here. I'm on NintendoLife.com, and it's talking about like what the remix will be like, and it says the sense of scale of the towns and routes have been carefully preserved, and fans who played the original games will recognize many familiar places. These games are updated with an easy to understand player friendly conveniences introduced in recent Pokemon Core series video games, in addition to up close and personal Pokemon scene. So I assume that means that we will not have to grind so hard to level our Pokemon up. It'll
yeah.
probably be EXP share for everybody. And I assume there was something else I was going to say. I assume I don't know if this is going to be the case, but I see even in the notes here you mentioned HMs
Yeah,
being in the game.
I want to know because obviously
Yeah,
HMs were still a thing in the original. Are we still going to have HMs now?
I think so because even in every other remake we've had them, I think HMs only went away in Sun and Moon, right?
Didn't have them in Let's Go.
Yeah, Sun and Moon I think was the first game that went away with them, isn't it?
Yeah, so we haven't. I mean, there has not been a game with HMs since Sun and Moon.
Yeah. So I don't know because, like I said, the remakes for Ruby and Sapphire had HM still. This is the next, and Let's Go as well. It didn't have it, so who
Yeah.
knows? Honestly, I could see them maybe going away with it. It depends on how much they actually changed the core gameplay.
Right.
Because I would love to not have to have a Pokemon that knows defog.
Yeah. Well, because it also, if this game is going to work with Pokemon Home, like, and be able to transfer in any of the Pokemon from Pokemon Home, then a lot of those Pokemon won't have HMs. And then if you give them the HM, that makes them not playable in Sword and Shield if you transfer
Yeah.
them again, unless you remove those moves again, which is very odd. I mean, some of those moves did carry over and still existed in Sword and Shield, but
Yeah, like Surf and Fly are still
right,
always going to be things. Which, and having a water Pokemon that doesn't know Surf at this point, come
it's a
on.
waste. What a waste.
Yeah. Even if it's an HM.
So we talked about the HMs. I also wanted to talk about how there's no Pokemon following you.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know. I guess I kind of expected that. I know it was in both the Let's Go games and Sword and Shield only in the wild area, but even in Sword and Shield, it's not like it's everywhere you go that your
Right,
Pokemon's
but
following you.
so did you have it in Sun and Moon? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think it was only, I'm trying to remember now too. I think it was only like because you could like ride the different Pokemon for different things.
Yes,
Like
they weren't your
Mudsdale
Pokemon.
or whatever. Yeah, I don't think so. That's a good question. I haven't played Sun and Moon since like
Yeah, I'm forgetting. That's
2017, maybe.
but it just seems like it's one of those things that they keep doing with Pokemon games is adding a feature, taking it back out, adding a feature again, adding that same feature again like it's new. You know, like just leave it in.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing too with when Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. I think that's what everybody assumed was just going to be the standard going forward. Was that your Pokemon, whatever the first Pokemon was in your party, would follow you?
Yeah,
Let's see. I don't think they did. But
they
yeah,
definitely
all
don't
of
have
them.
them. They definitely don't have them
Pokeball.
in this Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, which I thought again was interesting. Uh, I just wonder, like, if they're trying to be super faithful to the remakes, are we going to see an increase in the random encounters like we had in those generations?
I think
Like
that'll. Yeah.
when you go through
I don't.
caves, are we going to be bombarded by Pokemon constantly, like we were in the originals?
I think so. I don't think that they're going to do away with that. I think you're still going to get attacked by a million Zubats or whatever Pokemon are in the caves. Zubat, Geodude, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You'll still get bombarded by those.
Uh,
I don't think it'll be.
we
I don't think they'll
also
do away with it.
we reacted fairly harshly to the names in our
We kept getting
react.
the. We also kept getting the name wrong for.
Correct.
We kept
It's
saying shiny.
Shiny Pearl, but it's Shining Pearl.
Shining Pearl. Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Yeah.
But
It was early.
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, has the name grown on you at all since it was first announced the other day?
I think they're fine. It kind of adds up to the way that they're naming conventions for these remakes when it comes to just using the same name again, like
They don't mean
Alpha
anything.
Sapphire, yeah, Omega Ruby. They're just kind of like they could literally just throw remake on the end of it and it would be the same thing as calling it Brilliant Diamond and
Shining Pearl. Yeah. Ultimately, I think they're fine names. Like,
yeah.
it's a little goofy sounding, but like you said, in the grand scheme of things, no goofier than Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
So
They're everything about it, they're fine. I'm gonna replay through them. Again, I'm watching the video right now and it does just look like they just wanted to keep the exact same feel of the original games and just make it a little bit more modern,
I'll
but it
tell
looks
you,
like an early 3DS game.
I'm fine with the animation entirely. Like it actually does look good. Trees look good. The tall grass looks good. And then when you get into the battles look great. My only the only thing that's really sticking with me that I don't like for this animation is the way they move when they walk. The way their arms move and their legs move
Yeah, it's a little
is
funny.
a little funny, and I don't think that's necessary. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm
It makes them look like they're
more
toys. Like it's like
yeah,
if you were stop motion moving Lego figures. That's how their arms
yeah.
move.
Again, I think it was just they were going more for that chibi look, but if they would have just gone the full like almost look like toys thing that Link's Awakening did, I would have liked it a little bit more. But I'm fine with it. I will play the games. I will completely forget about the art style.
Yeah,
A
it
few
won't take
minutes
long at
in.
all. We'll get into it, and then it'll just be about the games again, like always, which is
And
cool.
like I said as well too, I've been replaying through Platinum, and I actually played some last night and this morning, and I'm having fun with the game. I'm gonna finish it, and then I kind of want to finish it now at this point, just because the remakes are coming. So I want to finish Platinum before playing
The remake.
compare them.
So one thing I do notice is like they really only spent 10 minutes of this presentation on Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. It felt like a lot. It felt like we got a lot more of it than we did.
Yeah, and it's again, it's going to be cool. It's just this is what fans wanted. They wanted a remake of these games. It may not be the exact art style that people wanted, and may not be the exact same game, but people are getting what they wanted. There's that meme I saw that was pretty funny. That was like, "How could you do this to my game or whatever my remakes?" And then in the next scene, it was like, "But what's the release date?" It's like,
yeah,
people are mad at it, but they're still going to buy.
Yeah, and I honestly, I really don't think people are going to be that mad. I think that the people who will make fun of it the most are the people who are already not going to buy it.
Well, and it's funny because people complained about how the Pokemon games changed anyways and went away from the art style similar to the original games, but then are probably still complaining that it looks too similar to the original.
People just hate change, even if it's changed back to things that you're used to like.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's move on to Pokemon Legends Arceus.
This is the game that in the beginning I said I was a little bit too critical on because I was so tired, but man, the more that I've thought about this game, like, this is all I've ever wanted from a Pokemon game.
I'm not going to go so far as to say it's all I've ever wanted.
Well, okay,
it's certainly
all I've ever wanted in
terms
of I've wanted a game that's a giant open world where I can run around and catch Pokemon, and like that's what this looks like it is. You're running around Sinnoh before Sinnoh is
all built up,
an established region and stuff like that. So you're essentially like settling a new region, which is kind of cool. You're going through and helping create the Pokedex for Sinnoh.
So that brings me to one of my questions. The starter Pokemon that they offer in this are Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet.
Yep.
Those are not from the same. They're not from the Sinnoh region.
Yeah, but in the trailer, it does look like in the trailer, it looks like all of the Sinnoh starters are there. I don't know if we saw Turtwig though. You see Piplup, you see Chimchar at one point. I don't know if you ever see Turtwig, but I think it's cool that you get to bring other Pokemon from different regions, and it's cool that it's not just all the same region that you get to choose your starters from.
Yeah, I think, but I'm just wondering how they will explain that. Like, in the time from when this game is set to the time where the original Sinnoh games were set, did they exterminate the Rowlets that lived in this region?
I mean, it could either be that, it could be that they migrated to wherever. God, what's the Alola
Alola's
region?
where Rowlet's from.
Yeah, so many Pokemon, it's hard to remember what region they're from sometimes. I don't know, because it does look like there are Pokemon that maybe wouldn't have been around in that region, but
so let me pitch something for what I want from this game. I want there to be a Pokemon that is extinct now. Like not like a
Okay.
fossil type Pokemon, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, but one that
they're
doesn't exist anymore.
yeah, like because they built up the region and that destroyed the
Yeah.
habitat of these Pokemon. And so I think that would be really cool, a cool way to introduce some new Pokemon in this game that and explain why they're not around later is that they were became so rare that no one ever encounters them, or they had to find new habitats and that's why we haven't seen it before. I don't know. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do that would allow them to introduce some new Pokemon.
Also, with Arceus being a part of this, and Arceus is essentially the Pokemon world's version of God. It could just be that Arceus affects it and changes, and that's why Rowlet's no longer there.
Could
Maybe it
be.
gets sent back to a region. I don't know, because Arceus being in the title of the game means that Arceus is going to have something to do with what happens, or their story is going to involve Arceus in some way. So, what do you think? What do you think that means? Like, what do you think Arceus? What role do you think Arceus will have in this game?
Well, Arceus was not a focus in the original Sinnoh games.
Yeah, I think you just literally go to, like, after you beat the game, there's an area you go to where you can find
You go and get
Arceus.
him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I imagine that he's actually going to be like the central legendary of this game.
yeah, me too. I think that's how every Pokemon game recently will have a legendary on the cover that will be this game's legendary on the cover that you're trying to catch.
So let me go back to the video here.
Catching God sounds so weird though, too.
It is super weird. My mouse.
Yeah, I'm very excited for these games. I have the similar thing to you though about what will they do with Rowlet, and like, is it just that that's literally the only Rowlet because like the professor just brought those three
Oh, I got this. I
Pokemon?
found this in Alola. Here, you can have it.
Yeah, because even what's the other one? It's Oshawott, right? Isn't
Oshawott
Oshawott
X and Y, right?
Yeah, Gen 6. So, or wait,
Is it X and Y or no?
no,
Not X.
yeah,
Yeah, yes, it is, right?
I have no idea. That's crazy. How do I not know this? I think so. Oshawott. What generation is Oshawott?
No, Froakie. Froakie was X and Y. Froakie,
That's
Chespin,
right.
and Finnegan is
Oshawott's
X and Y.
generation.
So it's
Yeah.
the one before that was Oshawott. I tried to remember it based on where I was working at the time, or if I was working. So I worked at GameStop. So that would have been Black and White. Would have been the
Yep.
starters.
And that's the one that evolves into Samurott or whatever.
Yeah, Samurott. Oshawott evolves into Samurott eventually, and Tepig and Snivy.
Yep.
So yeah, so the point is they're not all from Sinnoh.
Yeah. Which is
cool.
I like that because, like I said, it looks like you have to catch the Pokemon, the starting Pokemon, with the Chimchar in the trailer and then showing Piplup at the very beginning. Which is like, that's a really cool idea if you're one of the people that's catching those Pokemon that are like, oh, these are going to be the starters.
These are going to be the starters for this region.
Yeah.
Or for other
the
regions.
Eventual, 10-year-old trainers that will be out going on an adventure. These will be what they're trying to catch. You're essentially helping create that Pokedex.
So
do you think anything story based on that term, like in that, because there's always Pokemon are always numbered in the Pokedex? Like, do you think that you're gonna have to catch certain Pokemon in certain order, or like?
Well, every Pokemon game has its own regional Pokedex that is in a different order. So, like Pikachu's one number in one Pokedex and a completely different number in another one. So I don't think that'll ultimately be like a focus or anything. But let me go back to the video and start the Arceus stuff again.
I think it even like loops back to it at some point too.
Yeah, it did.
A little bit more detail.
So things that I do like about this game. I liked the graphics. I think it's not finished product yet, and I can see that with the bones that they have in place now, that when they do flesh it out, it's going to be a pretty game.
Well, even on rewatching the trailer, because the trailer starts and it's all like hand drawn to look similar to like older Japanese artwork.
Right.
When it transitions into the first scene with Piplup like running around, it almost looks like a watercolor kind of background, and it's almost like maybe that art style is intentional to look more like a painting. Because this is the whole trailer. the entire trailer starts with the opening of a book and then it ends with the closing of a book. So is this like, a story? So it's like, is it from a
Yeah, so
storybook
it's
that's like
probably
got
what
drawn
this
out?
is. This is not. We're playing the story that this person is reading. Would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And watching it again as well too, I think it looks good. It doesn't look as good as something like Breath of the Wild, but it's not like it looks much worse.
Yeah, I don't think
And
it's finished yet. Like when you see
yeah,
these animations that the Pokemon are doing. I mean, I know it's not finished yet, but like, you watch the animations, they kind of like snap into place in certain things.
yeah, and even when the characters are moving around, it doesn't look fully like when they're going to throw the Pokeball. It doesn't look like the like HUD setup or anything like that is completely accurate. Like, are they going to have like a reticule for when you go to throw a Pokeball so you can actually see if it's going to hit the Pokemon or not,
Yeah,
or is it just automatically going to hit them? Because like right now, where I'm watching the Twitch stream of it, so I'm a little bit behind, but it shows them throw the Pokeball and it doesn't look like they're
I don't think you're
how
having
do
to
we
aim.
know?
I think you. I
Yeah,
think it's something you have to be in a certain range,
and then you can just toss
and then
it.
you can
And
just
I'm wondering,
throw it.
there's a few times where it shows them just throw the Pokeball, and technically, when you're playing Pokemon, you can do that as well too. Like you can throw the Pokeball, if it's a weak Pokemon, sometimes you can just catch it without having to battle it.
Yeah.
But there's other parts where it shows them battling. So is it going to be similar to that? Are you going to have
Well,
to
so
weaken
what
every
I'm thinking
Pokemon?
is we're going to see it like we've talked about Breath of the Wild Pokemon, right?
Yep.
So I think what we're going to get is the open world, like we want, that is similar to Breath of the Wild. The Pokemon will be out there in the wild, and then when you approach a Pokemon to battle it, then it goes into the combat you see in the trailer here, where you're still wherever you are in the world
Yeah.
that you encountered that Pokemon, but now you have your moves come up, and then it'll go into the turn-based combat. That's what I'm guessing.
But what's weird is the animation when he's catching a Pokemon, it like shows them in the open world or he or she, sorry, you can play as a boy or girl in this, just similar to just like every other Pokemon game recently. But it like shows them just in the open world throwing the ball. So when you battle a Pokemon, do you have to beat them first and then it automatically will like exit you from the battle and then you can catch them that way? Or is it you weaken them and then if you decide to catch them, it leaves the battle? Like that's what I'm confused by.
Yeah, it's.
We'd have to know
I'm
more. I'm
certainly
sure they'll
unsure.
talk more about this. If it's coming early next year, I could see around E3 there being a Nintendo Direct
The
that
other
talks
thing
about
I
this.
want to see is, in that combat, because what we haven't seen is how they transition into the combat,
Yeah.
right? So it could be something that, like, when you approach them in the wild, you can pull up the menu of your Pokemon's 4 moves and begin combat, like, while still in the world.
Did you ever? This is like a quick segue to a different game, but did you play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot at all? Are you a Dragon Ball Z fan at
I am a
all?
Dragon Ball Z fan, but I did not play Kakarot because
So
I've. How many times can you play through the storyline of Dragon Ball Z? Like,
yeah,
seriously,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like 30 games and they're all just the storyline of Dragon Ball Z.
So in that game though, when you are flying around the open world, if you like an enemy shows up or something like that, and you go to encounter them, basically what it does is like you'll hit the enemy and it'll do like a quick flash, and then it transitions to like you being in the battle mode in the same like map that you were already in. But I wonder if it's something like that, like you see a Pokemon and then it'll just kind of like quick flash real fast, and then you'll be in the battle animation as opposed to the open world kind of animation stuff
Yeah,
like the
it definitely could be that, and I think that would be fine. Is I like the thing that I like though is that it appears that the battles will take place in the whatever location you were,
yep.
as opposed to going to like a similar like pre-rendered
Yeah, and half the
location.
time it doesn't even it's like not even
Like
where you actually
it's not where
are.
you actually were.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to that. It doesn't like I don't know if there's just not going to be an overlay on screen most of the time, which
I
would
mean, they never really show HUDs too much in this, but even in the original Pokemon games, there's not really HUDs when you're walking around.
well, yeah, but
But
when you're in battle, you
yeah,
see there's a HUD the
yeah,
whole time. Whereas in this, it
yeah,
looks like the only thing that shows up while you're battling is the moves. I
yeah.
didn't see anything else, but that could be because they're not done yet. Who knows?
How like Breath of the Wild do you think they're gonna go with this game? Do you think there's any sort of survival things where you have to actually cook food or feed your
I
Pokemon
think you're
or
going to
anything
have to
like that?
cook food for the Pokemon just like in the way that you do in Sword and Shield.
Where
Like,
it's like you build a camp or whatever.
yeah, because they're not going to have Poke Centers.
Do they show Pokemon following you in this as well too? Like, can you let your Pokemon out of your Pokeball?
Yeah, it looked like they were
Okay.
out there. I mean, we'll see it again here shortly on the stream.
Because really all I want is my Typhlosion just running around with me as I go around.
Yeah. Well, and so that was what I was gonna say. Like, what are some of your wish list things for this game? Because one of the things for me is, the riding on Pokemon. So, like, Breath of the Wild, you get to ride on your horse.
Yeah.
I would like they show you catching a Rhyhorn in this game.
I would
I would love to
absolutely
ride around on the
love
Rhyhorn.
if I could catch a Ponyta and just ride around on like a Ponyta or Rapidash, that'd be so cool. I'm the biggest chill for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is my favorite video game of all time. So if it's anything remotely close to as good as Breath of the Wild and the features, like you have to, like if you see a hill and there's a Pokemon up there and you want to get to it, you have to actually climb that
Up
hill
there and get it.
yourself.
I think you're going to have to do that.
I think if it has stuff like that, I'm all for it. Jeff, if this game has it to where like I want to cut down a tree and I can pull out my scyther and he can cut down a tree for me and I can get wood from it, I'm all in. Like I want something like that.
Man, that would be really cool. So
yeah,
watching this trailer, the Pokemon do not appear to follow you. So you appear to be solo. But I wonder if that's something that they will add, or if they will make it so. Because part of the thing with open world games is they almost always start you off walking on foot for your traversal, and then
you get a bike.
You get something you can ride on. A horse, a bike, whatever it is. They give you those things. So like even in Pokemon games, like specifically, they give you a bike to move around faster, or they give you the skates to move around faster. So I'm hoping that set in this time period, that the thing that they give you is the ability to ride on one of your Pokemon.
I think as well, this game I assume has been in, because Game Freak is making this, right? Did they say for sure that this is the one that Game Freak is making?
Hang on. Yes, Game Freak.
Okay. So Sword and Shield came out in 2019 and Game Freak was working on the DLC. So I assume there was a team working on the game itself and the DLC. Like, I don't think that there was separate teams working on the DLC. I think it was all the same team. And in the background, I think there was another team working on this game. I assume as soon as that other team was done with Sword and Shield and the DLC, they just went right to this. But the reason I bring that up is because my assumption is they've been working on this game for probably 4 years at this point, if not more.
Yeah.
And that's all within the time that Breath of the Wild has come out. So they probably looked at that and were like, okay, this exactly learned a lot from it, are going to use some of those things. I don't think it's going to be exactly the same as Breath of the Wild. It's not going to be climb a tower and, use your Sheikah slate to find wherever you want to go next. But I hope that it is that you see this cool area in the distance and you go there and you're like, oh, this is actually what's going to become whatever town. And
I think this game is going to be more quest driven.
Yeah.
So like they show this old town. It's not old at the time, but old by modern standards. They show you in this old town. They show that the people of that region. I imagine that you're going to be sent on quests to go collect items for the town or collect Pokemon to help build things.
Yeah.
And these, it could be that that's how this region gets built up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm picturing, is it to be more quest driven. Like go to this place and deal with this outbreak of these Pokemon are causing all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, clear out all these whatever Pokemon that are here.
I think that it'll be that sort of quest-driven game rather than the normal Pokemon, which is just go to next city, here's the gym, next city, here's the gym.
I hope so, and I hope that this isn't a short game. I hope this is a meatier, 30 to 40 hours at least game, because if you're getting to go around all of Sinnoh and kind of, our hope is that you're establishing different towns in the region and stuff like that, and settlements and stuff. I hope that it's a longer game.
I think it being open world, I would guess it's probably safe to estimate a minimum of 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, and I wonder how big the map is actually going to be, because in the games themselves, the areas are never that big. There's not that much space in between them. So
right.
Is it going to feel like a smaller landlocked area? Is it going to be like a, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 3 size map, or like a Breath of the Wild Grand Theft Auto 5 size map?
I don't know.
You can just go around and essentially go wherever you want, go whatever direction you want.
Yeah,
I'm so fascinated by this game because obviously it looks like the Breath of the Wild game that people have been wanting. It's not the exact same thing that people want right now, but there's
I think if they
so
went
much.
if they went too much exactly like Breath of the Wild, it would end up disappointing people in some way. So
Yeah,
like, as long as they take enough of what they learned from open world games from Breath of the Wild, then I think they can make a really cool Pokemon game. But they also
yeah.
need to remember that this is a Pokemon game, and like, are they going to have you replacing your items constantly like in Breath of the Wild? Like,
No, I don't see them doing anything like that. There will not be any sort of like durability on anything in this game. Enough people hated that in Breath of the Wild
this guy, I hated
to
that.
where it'll be something that the Pokemon Company / Game Freak will be like, yeah, we're not going to have that in our game. This is a game made for the target demographic for this game is 6 to 10-year-olds, and there's obviously grown-ups like us in our early 30s that are still playing these games, but I don't think they're going to do anything as extreme as that. And that's the reason why I was even asking about cooking food for like health or anything like that. I feel like
I think they have
like
to do
setting
that
up
just because that they're
mechanic, yeah,
in this time period. They
with no
won't.
Pokemon Center.
There's no Pokemon centers, so they have
Yeah.
to have a way for you to heal your Pokemon, and so I imagine that food will
You'll
be the
have
way
to
you do that.
pick berries. You'll have to. That's my thing too with like cutting on a tree. If there's like apples in that tree, or can you use a Rhyhorn to like use headbutt on that tree and
And
it
knocks
knock
down
down?
some fruit. Or can I? And what kind of food am I making? Am I making poffins?
Yeah, like I. There's so much to predict and just I could literally predict what this game's going to be for hours. We don't have that much time to do so, but I really, really do hope that there's some of those key features of Breath of the Wild, like the making your own food and letting you go wherever you want, being like, hey, we want you to go create the Pokedex. And while you're out there, like just explore the area. And then if you can go to an area and establish something and send a carrier, like Staravia back to uh, the professor or whatever to talk about this area. So there's not going to be any phones or anything like that.
Yeah, man. I
I'm
mean, the
very excited
communication is
for
going
it.
to be. There's so much we don't know yet, and it's going to be a while before we get it. But the more that we've talked about it, the more that I've looked at this trailer, the more excited I am for this game. I am
Exactly.
much more excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus than Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl by a significant margin.
Yeah, me too. I will play, like I said, I will play the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Obviously, I was going to play them anyways, regardless of what they look like or anything like that, or regardless of whether or not they announced Pokemon Legends Arceus. But Pokemon Legends Arceus is the direction I want them to start taking for Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really, really hope that this is them testing out what they're going to do for Pokemon Gen 9.
Yeah, gosh, the future is so bright for the Pokemon
Yep.
franchise. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So
Overall,
now,
it was fun.
yes, overall, it was fine. I'm not mad about it. So I'm switching to our 2-camera setup here so we can do our last segment where we rank a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which means I have to go to Bulbapedia and pull up the Pokemon.
I was going to say, I'm about to do that same thing.
The random number generator gave us Pokemon number 744. Did you already look at the notes and see who it is?
Yeah, Rockruff.
Yep. So our Pokemon this week is Rockruff, who is, of course, from Alola.
Alola to you too, Jeff.
All right. Very funny. Let me make sure I got this all set up so it'll show up on screen.
Yep. I will start real quick and just say that I do really like Rockruff. It doesn't hurt the fact that it's an adorable dog.
Yes.
But I really like Lycanroc, and I like the different forms of Lycanroc too.
So,
and I like that Ash had a Rockruff.
Yep. Rockruff is probably one of the best designed Pokemon from Alola, in my opinion. Like just from
Rockruff is super cool.
Aesthetic perspective, he's adorable. And then when you get to see him in action in the show, he's affectionate like a dog and lovable, and it's hard
a powerful form Pokemon too. Like it's not just like a weak small Pokemon. I feel like Rockruff actually can hold its own.
I'm not as high on Lycanroc. Uh, I guess I like. Well, let me go to Lycanroc real quick.
The midday form.
Midday form, and the dusk form, I like. I do not like midnight form.
What, you don't like the like emo like hood over its
I
head?
don't like why is he's standing upright? I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be like the
Like a
werewolf
He's a
look.
lycanthrope. I mean I get it,
Yeah.
but it I liked Rockruff because he's the puppy Pokemon and he looks like a puppy. And
which I think is why midday form is such a good one, because it does really just look like that. Looks like the natural evolution.
It's like just a bigger dog. Yeah.
Yep.
A little more wolf-like. Which again is Lycanroc, so he is supposed to be, wolf-like. So I like Lycanroc overall, but I definitely preferred Rockruff. It's the same thing that happens when we end up talking about Yampers one day. I love Yampers because Yampers is a corgi, and I love corgis, but I do not love Boltund. I don't hate him, but he's not as cute as Yampers. What I wanted was this cute, chubby little Yampers, and I wanted him to evolve into a more like physically fit looking corgi.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was thinking more so like how a Jigglypuff to a Wigglytuff. Like it's not like much. It's still like goes from this cute thing to another like cute, more evolved thing.
I mean, really, I just wanted Yampers. Like Yampers is the puppy, and so now just picture it as if it had aged 2 years. So like when you get a corgi puppy, it looks like a little floof ball, and then in a couple years, it looks like kind of. I mean, it's still floofy, but it's a more regal looking dog. I mean, that's why it's the queen's dog. Right.
And I think that's why even just looking at, so I'm looking at Lycanroc because we do go based on these like what their evolution is as well too. I do think that the midday form really does look like the most natural progression and does look like just a more grown up version of Lycanroc. Or I'm sorry, Rockruff.
Yeah. So our current rankings of the Pokemon so far, we've ranked Bellsprout a 2, Delibird a 3, Hariyama a 3.5, and Rookidee a 3.5. So, what are we thinking for Rockruff?
I don't know. It's hard to not be biased because it's a dog that's adorable.
No, we're allowed to be biased. We're making the list.
Okay, fine. I would put either Rockruff somewhere in the 3.5 to 4 range. And that's also because I don't mind the evolutions. I think it's cool that there's 3 different forms as well. Are they all different types, the 3 evolutions, or are they all the same type? I can't remember.
I'll just check real quick. Midday form is rock. Midnight form, that opens the PNG, so that's not helpful.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look at too. I did the exact same thing as I tried to pull up the midnight form, and it didn't really look like it said. But I wanted to see if there was different typing on all 3. Which you'd assume that
it's got to be like dark type for.
And that's what I was going to say as well too, is that the midnight form. Which also the midnight form. No, but the midnight form was super powerful in the I Choose You movie.
Yeah,
it was a super strong Pokemon, and we do try to go on that as well too, is like their usability. And since we're not super into the competitive side of things, we don't really know. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really say.
It looks like it's still just rock type.
Weird.
And looking at the move sets for midday, midnight, and dusk form, they get mostly normal moves, and then they get rock and poison. So like looks like midnight form also gets a fighting type move.
Okay. I mean, I would have assumed they were all different typing, but I guess that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because.
I don't know. It would make as much sense as anything else. Oh, no, here I found it. Under evolution. There it is. Yeah, they're all still just rock types.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really do much. I don't know if they can learn. Can they learn very specific moves, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, they do learn different moves depending on which type, but not significantly different moves. In fact, dusk form and midnight form, there's a little difference. Midnight form learns focus punch, which is the fighting type one, and laser focus. The other ones don't learn that. So they're a little different. But so like I said, Rockruff, for me, one of the best designed Pokemon for Alola, so
Yeah.
I would probably give it a 4 personally.
Yeah. This could easily take the number 1 spot for me.
Because Rookie D, I like for me because Rookie D becomes Corviknight.
Exactly. And Corviknight for me would be higher than Rockruff, but Rookie D himself is not higher than Rockruff in my opinion.
Yeah, and
I'm with you on that
I think Rockruff earns a 4 on his own, and that's saying something because I really don't care that much about Lycanroc.
Yeah.
And you do like Lycanroc, so
yeah.
So there we go. We're gonna give him the old number 1 spot. Now it's Rockruff. We were right when we said Rookie D could not hang on.
Hold that. Yeah, couldn't hold that spot for
Rockruff, number 1 with 4 out of 5 stars. Okay.
a good old 4.
So that's our show this week.
The only thing I wanted to end the show with was just showing off some cool Pokemon cards I got, Jeff.
Please do.
And so basically Pokemon cards right now are really, really hard to find. Being in a pandemic, people are bored. People are buying Pokemon cards like crazy. I went to Target yesterday. They're still completely sold out. Last weekend, though, I had to make a trip to pick up some bikes. And when I was there was a comic book shop that had some Pokemon cards. So I went in there and I picked up Shining Fates is the new set that just came out. It came out last Friday. Yes, last Friday. And so I picked up, they had 1 box left that was a Galarian Mr. Rhyme box. So I bought that and it came with 3 boosters, and then I picked up a couple other boosters. So I just wanted to show off real quick some of the cool hollows I got in there for any fans of the TCG. So here's that Galarian Mr. Rhyme, if it actually shows up well on here. Let's get my focus to work. Maybe it won't. Maybe this won't work out as well as I wanted it to. That's okay. It's people that are listening to the podcast forum anyway, so they won't be seeing it. Anyways, I got a Frost Moth, which is a super cool looking card.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you can see that as well.
You already put it in a protector?
Yeah, I put any of the holographic cards I just put in cases because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw them in here. I got this adorable reverse hollow Snorlax. So the card itself is hollow, but the picture isn't.
That's cool.
Yeah. My boy Luxray. Luxray is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I really like the art on this card.
That's one that I would love to get the shiny card for because shiny Luxray is one of my favorite shinies.
Yeah, I didn't really get any shiny. I did also pick up a couple packs at a Best Buy as well too, which were older packs. They were like X and Y packs. And I got this Greninja Break card, which is super cool. It's like a gold Greninja.
That's cool.
And it's like sideways, so that's cool.
You know what it does in the game?
No. I don't play the TCG. Maybe that'll be one of the things I do is learn to play the TCG.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny because I know you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who are out there buying Pokemon cards who do not play it at all.
And I was thinking about picking up one of those deck builder sets just to have like the energies to build a deck.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. And then almost done here, I got a Togekiss V, which is a cool like full art card, which I really like this one.
We're going to talk about it one day, but Togekiss is bad.
Yeah, Togekiss is a weird Pokemon. I got a full art trainer card as well too, Sonia, which is a character from Sword and Shield as well.
Very cool.
And then this one was super cool. I got a Delmise VMAX card, which is like a super cool like full art card as well too.
Look at that.
Yeah. Last 3 I got here. I got a Beetle, which this one's really cool. These are like I believe they're like a secret rare or something like that is what they're called. But if you can see, the art like kind of goes outside of the picture.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool. The coloring on them.
And of that generation, that was my favorite legendary.
Yeah, Beetle was super cool. I got another one of those that's a Jirachi. This one's super cool.
The Wishmaker.
I really like Jirachi. Yep. And then the last one I have for this is just it's literally garbage. It's a Garbodor.
It's Garbodor. What a dumb Pokemon.
Yep. So I just wanted to show off those. That was something I did for Pokemon Day, was opened up some packs of cards. So I figured I'd share them with people. Maybe, again, if people care about the trading card game, it'd be cool to show off some of those.
I'm just saying, if you want to start recording you opening these packs and stuff like that.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was
happily
gonna
upload them to the Pod-ket Monsters YouTube channel.
I was thinking about using my personal Twitch, which is twitch.tv/ddanger10, to maybe open up a couple on there if people are actually interested in it, and then just upload those videos right to the YouTube as well. But that's something I'd have to gauge people's interest on. I know there's a lot of people doing that already, so that's a really crowded market opening Pokemon.
Well, I think you should do that because I intend to upload videos of what I'm going to be streaming here later today. My Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke. I'm going to upload the videos to our Pod-ket Monsters YouTube channel.
Jeff, what's a Nuzlocke playthrough?
So a Nuzlocke game is a way to make the Pokemon games harder.
Yes, it is.
You can only catch the first Pokemon on any route that you encounter. So if you kill it, you just don't get a Pokemon on that route, which can be debilitating. If your Pokemon is knocked out, you have to treat it as if it is dead. So you have to release it because you can never use it again.
So funny.
So I've never done a Nuzlocke before. So I thought it would be cool.
Don't you have to restart the game if certain things happen as well too? Like, isn't there like certain?
It looked like there was just 3 basic rules, and it is a little tougher with Pokemon Sword because people I was trying to find what people are the standard rules for Nuzlocke on Sword. Yeah. Because when you go to the wild area, does that count as one area, or does each section of the wild area count as its own area?
I would assume it means separate areas of the wild area because they are split up.
Yeah, I mean, so they they have their own square on the map. So does that count as one area, or is it the area that you can get to the first time you enter the wild area? Is it all of that is one area, and then when you cross the bridge, is that another area, or is we said, I'm planning on treating it as each section of the wild area is its own area, because otherwise, you half the Pokemon in the game you can only get in the wild area. So but the other rules, let me just pull that up real quick.
Yeah, my cousin was super into watching the Nuzlocke playthroughs. I never really got super into it, but I'll definitely check out your playthroughs.
I just like that people get emotionally attached to the Pokemon because that's one of the other rules is you have to name every Pokemon you catch. Every Pokemon gets a nickname, which is supposed to make you care about them more. So that if they die, you'll be truly, truly sad. You may only use Pokemon that you have captured yourself, meaning no trading or mystery gifts. As for trading and retrading the same Pokemon for evolving purposes, people don't have a consensus on that. I mean, basically, you get to decide what rules you're going to do.
So if you wanted to trade a Haunter to somebody to get a
Gengar, I can do that. I'm going to treat it that way. Yeah. Just so that I can get Pokemon, especially if I decide that that's one of the Pokemon I want to use.
Yeah.
But what's this say? If the first encounter in the area is a double battle, because that was a thing in Sun and Moon, the player is free to choose which of the 2 wild Pokemon they would like to catch, but may only catch one of them.
Okay.
So it says this restriction does not apply to Pokemon able to be captured during static encounters, nor to shiny Pokemon. So I guess what they're saying is I could still catch shiny Pokemon if I come across them.
I mean, I would stop my Nuzlocke play immediately.
I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to have to start over because I got to catch this shiny.
So what does that mean for legendaries though? If you go to an area, especially with Sword and Shield, spoilers for that, but you have to go through that route, and then at the end of it is where you would find the legendary. Can you catch that legendary, or can you only catch
the restriction does not apply to Pokemon able to be captured during static encounters. So that's a static encounter.
Okay, that's okay. Gotcha.
So you can still get those.
So a Turnius, you can still catch.
Yes. So that's what I'm going to be doing later today.
Nice.
I'm going to start my first ever Nuzlocke, and we're doing it with Pokemon Sword. I'm very excited because I also just got a capture card, so very excited. Please follow us on our respective Twitches. At DDanger10 on Twitch is Dustin. I'm at GoodGameGrizz. If you're watching this live, you're already aware of that.
Yep.
On Twitter, D_Danger10 for Dustin, GoodGameGrizz for me, and our new Pod-ket Monsters Twitter is at Pod-ket Monsters.
Yeah,
no hyphen.
Yeah, and please feel free. If anybody wants to even write into the show, we will read things on the show. People have questions. If you want to share your excitement for something that gets announced, just at the Pod-ket Monsters account, and I'll be checking those. I have both accounts signed in on my phone, so I can check either one of them at any time. And then also, speaking of Twitches, I do want to promote that I will most likely be continuing my playthrough of the Resident Evil series beginning this evening, probably. I'm on 0 now, so I want to play through every one of them leading up to Resident Evil Village. So,
which I am not a horror fan, but I am a Dustin fan. So my intention is to watch some of Dustin's streams, even if it's a game that I do not want to play. Okay, well, so that sets us up for this week.
Yeah. Happy Pokemon Week, everybody.
Happy Pokemon
I know it's
Week.
the end of it,
but next week, I don't know what our topic will be just yet. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some more news. Otherwise, we're going to start going into like topics about individual games or movies or things like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well too. I mean, that's something we haven't discussed all the way, but I thought about that as well, of doing maybe an episode that's all about Pokemon the first movie or something like that, and we can share our feelings for that and run through the plot of that, or things like that. People, again, use the Twitter to let us know what you guys want to see.
Yeah, what do you want to see us talk about?
Yeah, feedback. Share with us anything you want us to do differently, anything like that. We're open to criticism and ideas. And as Hugo says in the chat, Pokemon in review.
Yes. So that'll be it for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, watching along with us live, or watching us on YouTube, or listening to us on podcast services all over. We really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share everywhere. Twitch, Twitter.
You have friends that like Pokemon. You do.
Yeah, you definitely do. Everyone has friends who like Pokemon. So tell them to give us a shot. We'd really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time.